LVs, QVs, CVs, GVs, a lot of letters and not a lot of cents, but lots of dollars. Not many cents, but lots of dollars. Valuations are an integral part of home ownership, but can be damn confusing. We've called in the expert, Debbie Roberts from PA, Property Apprentice, to explain. G'day, Debbie.
Good morning.
Sorry, it's gone crazy. So much confusion, so many letters, but the same old thing.
Yeah, exactly. So government valuations or RVs, CVs, GVs, so GVs, government valuation,
Yep.
RVs, the rateable value, and CVs, the council value. So it just depends on whereabouts you are in the country as to what they call it, but it's all the same
So
thing.
they're all the same, and they're all out of touch with the registered valuation, which is also an RV.
Yeah, well, the registered valuation is one where you pay a registered valuer to come and measure up your property, have a look at your beautiful kitchen and bathroom.
The new pool.
And
then
compare
yes.
that to other recent sales in the area. So the GV, RV and CV is pretty irrelevant when it comes to the market value of a property.
It's out of step, isn't it? Because
Well, they only do it once every 3 years.
Yeah, but even then, it still seems to lag.
Yeah, so it's basically what the councils use to work out how much to charge you in rates.
Or keep it low.
How much does it cost then to get that valuer in, and how long does that valuation last for?
Yeah, so it'll depend on the size of the property, but on average, you're probably looking at about $800.
What happened to price there? Because it used to be, I remember getting one a couple of years ago, it was $550, I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
used to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Now we've got to go through the bank panel system.
That's
it
now,
is a little
I've
bit
just
more
done this,
expensive now.
and they said you need a valuation, but you must use it through Velocity or a bank approved one.
Yeah, so it works a little bit like a round robin system. The bank decides which valuer gets assigned, but they're all registered valuers. So you can still communicate with the valuer as well, just to make sure that they are someone that knows the area.
Is it because people have been doing deals with valuers to pump things up or lower them?
Well,
Is it trust, is it?
I suspect that's one of the reasons that it was implemented, because there were some valuers that, people felt like they were choosing valuers that were going to be, pumping
And
the
that
price up.
it has been done.
But people often say, ignore the valuations. It just comes down to what people are prepared to pay. So why have valuations?
So at the end of the day, a market value for a property is however much a willing buyer and a willing seller are prepared to agree on. So when we're looking at values on a property, the only real way that you can come up with an estimate as to what the actual market value is to compare the property that you're looking at or the property that you own and have a look at other recent sales in the area. Registered valuations are valid for about 3 months. So if you need a registered valuation for finance, it's usually 3 months that it'll be valid for, because sales volumes change.
I've got the real valuation is what someone pays for your property.
Yeah.
But that's the most genuine one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the best way that I can explain the difference is if you, let's say your house, you might have the same size house on the same size land as the next door neighbour's property, and the government valuations might be exactly the same, but your house might be newly renovated, landscaped, everything, and the house next door might need a lot of work done to it.
Yes.
So your two market values will be totally different, even though the government valuations will
Well,
be
if
the
it keeps
same.
our rates down, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Keep the rates down.
Yeah, so don't complain about low government valuations.
And you can ask, if it is too high, you can
If
ring
it's
them
too
and say,
high,
look,
you can complain.
pull this
Yep.
baby down.
Yep,
Yes.
exactly. But don't complain about having a low government valuation.
No, but just make sure it's not used in the auction material.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
500,000.
look, the thing is that, people need, and this is one of the reasons that I was quite keen to do this topic,
Yes.
was because I think this is the reason that house prices go up at such a fantastic rate during a booming market, because the majority of people who purchase real estate buy based on emotion. They don't look at the recent sales in an area. They all ask the real estate agent what the GV is, even
Yes.
though it's totally irrelevant.
I know, we make that mistake.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you. Really
Nice to
well
see you
put
too.
and really clear. That is Property Apprentice co-founder Debbie Roberts. We are 9 minutes away from 9. Coming up.